Yeah, guys, so I just experienced gravity, literally. Hey guys, how's it going? Jake Bout here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Gravity, the highly anticipated film. And yeah, I wasn't looking that forward to the movie actually. I mean, it looks good. I didn't like, but I wasn't all crazy over it like everyone else until like a day or two before, and I was like, this is actually going to be pretty epic. So I went and saw it. It was definitely a great film. I just wanted to mention the very first thing off the bat. I am not a person that watches 3D movies usually. A lot of 3D movies suck in my opinion, especially post-converted. I am extremely impressed that this is post-converted. Obviously with all the effects in it. That's one reason I went, even though it was post-converted, was because a lot of it's an effects thing. It's all CGI in the computer. And that's another thing with me. With 3D, like I literally, like I wear glasses, so I have to be like this. So 3D is always a little annoying to me. It works out. I have to say, this is one of the best 3D movies I've seen. Probably the best since Legend of the Guardians. I actually didn't see that in 3D, so I can't really comment on 3D, but just from looking at 2D, I wish I saw it in 3D. And then also Avatar and How to Train Your Dragon. Both of those have great 3D. So yeah, this is one movie I have to say, I strongly urge you to see this in 3D because it really adds to the whole thing that you're in space. There's shots where you're just sitting there and it's like, holy shit, Earth is in the background right there, and you just gotta stare off, and it's like you're like immersed. This movie immerses you. That's the best part. That's what I loved about it so much. You're up in space. That's one thing with the characters. There's a lot of first person shots to it. The movie itself gave me kind of the vibe of a video game, and I kind of, I actually felt like the character myself, and it's a very like you're experiencing it through the other through all the characters, very like firsthand, and it gives you that feeling of shit, I'm stuck in space. There was actually one point in the movie where one of the characters had oxygen and then went back out into into space, and I like held my breath. That's how immersed I was into the movie. I think this was about halfway in, maybe a little under the halfway mark, but when I did that, I was like, it took me a sec. I was like, oh, I'm not actually, why am I holding my breath? You know what I mean? It was hilarious, and that's the best part. That's honestly the best part of the movie in my opinion. How it immerses you into it and pulls you in, and you're like stuck out there in space, and you really experience that. This movie has a lot of tension. Pretty much the whole movie, your heart's going because something's going down. It's not gonna be, crap's not gonna be right. And I'm not gonna give away any of the plot. This movie has a brisk pace. You're just moving, events are happening, and it's like boom, boom, boom. Gets to the point. I love that hour and a half, perfect length of this movie. Now, I thought the acting was decent, but I don't know what it was. For me, in this, I don't know if it was in the script or what, but there was something about the characters where I didn't necessarily feel the emotion. The acting was good, but it's just like when it went into that territory, it didn't work for me. One scene that I thought was a little too early. I won't spoil what it is. It's kind of an emotional scene, and it was good, but it didn't have that same effect if they had waited a little bit longer. But it's complicated because they have such a short length of time and having to do that. But yeah, that's definitely one of my problems. I would maybe call it there's an emotional disconnect. I don't know about everyone else, but that's where the movie kind of lacks that when it tries to go into that emotional state. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney's acting is fine. It's just that I really think it's a script problem and maybe a directing problem. Even though I will say some of the emotional stuff does work. So some of it doesn't, but some of it does work. So I was happy with that. And also another problem I had, there's this one scene, I'm not going to talk about it, but there's this one scene where this thing happens, and it really felt like a cop out. It was like, okay, that just happened. I mean, it was still an entertaining scene. I was like, okay, but I don't like that feeling where it's where the movie feels like it's trying to go for realism. This scene did not seem realistic at all. My brother was saying it might have been better if they had pushed that out, that they waited for this one scene on this thing. That's a problem I really have with it, because when you notice a scene like that, it didn't really fit with the rest of the movie. It was still really good, but it was kind of okay, it took me out a little bit. I have to say that. Yeah, guys, so I thought it was directed really well. You had that 15 to 20 minute opening, and there's just like one shot, which is totally awesome. And like it just blends, you know, the whole movie just flows. It's so well, and you can't even tell. And you're just watching, you're like, holy crap, it's still the same shot. And you don't even really notice until and stuff is like blending into like first person shots and stuff like that. And it gives it really that claustrophobic vibe. And what the nice thing about all the long shots is that they just like, when you're watching the action, you can actually see what's happening. And that's how you get that kind of action with the music. You have the opportunity, because you don't have this opportunity with shaky cam. Almost never does this happen. You actually get the opportunity to give the audience the chills and the goosebumps, because that's what I got. I got so many chills and goosebumps watching this movie. That's because I could actually see what was going on in the great soundtrack and all that combined, and these long shots you can see. With that combined, you have the opportunity. And Alfonso, I don't know if his name, Cuarón, he did this. Like, that's what he accomplished it. He got that for me. I have a feeling a lot of audience members are going to get goosebumps because the action is so well done and everything, and the long shots, the directing, and I thought the directing was really, it was almost spot on, except for a couple other little things. I have to mention the VFX because they were insane. Literally, like, everything was perfect. The 3D was with it was perfect. It feels like you're in space. You can't even tell. It's just like, whoa. And the 3D completely adds to that. There's shots and there's stuff where debris is coming at you. It like literally like feels like maybe like go like that and blink. That's how awesome it was. And it was actually using it to get you in that world more, and using the visual effects to tell the story, along with some incredibly well done action scenes. I was like, and then when the first one hits, I was getting chills on the action scenes. That's how well done they are. That's how you know you're watching a good action scene, when you're getting chills. And the soundtrack, I think, was perfect also. It really fit. It didn't push it to the max where it was too much. It like kept it perfectly. Because, you know, this isn't like watching like Inception or The Dark Knight Rises, you know, with the full-on, or like Transformers, it's like a full-on soundtrack. Like, they make them hit. But it still felt like a bigger budget soundtrack, and it just kept under from that, and that fit. That was literally perfect for the film. So yeah, guys, so for this movie, I really enjoyed it. I think everyone should see this weekend. So yeah, I would say I had like 3 problems that I noticed for me, and because of that, I'm gonna have to for me, it's gonna have to be a 4 out of 5. So yeah, guys, I will catch you later. Stay tuned. I will be doing more reviews, and yeah. And if you like my videos, consider subscribing, and yeah, I will catch you guys later.